wanted to show you my method for learning songs on the guitar. I used to pick everything out by ear, and in fact back in the day I had a reel-to-reel recorder, and I would transfer things to the reel-to-reel and then play them back at half speed, which the reel allowed you to do, and that would put it, I think it was exactly an octave below, but it would slow it down to where you could actually figure out some of the high-speed solos and things like that. And that was a good method, but you know, like I say, everything was always an octave down, so you kind of had to think differently in your head. But anyway, with technology the way it is, things have gotten a lot easier. But well, I wanted to talk about just how I slow things down, or how I learn songs nowadays, which is a little bit different. So we're going to start here. The first thing is, you know, generally as you're figuring songs out, unless you have a really good memory, which I don't. I wasn't born with perfect pitch or anything like that, and so I struggle, like a lot of guitar players, to figure things out. So this is one way to notate what you're playing. So I've got, you know, notebooks full of, well, there's probably some printed tablature and things like that, but then you know, stuff like this. This is my memory right here, and most of this was written down quite a while ago. You know, I'm talking years ago. There's these guys, which are the good old tab books, which some of them are pretty good, some of them aren't. But the thing I find is, as I'm playing, you know, sometimes it's hard to keep these going, you know, the way you want to, with a music stand or otherwise. So I've come up with sort of the, what do you want to say, 21st century way to do this. And some people would argue that you should always use your ears to figure out songs, and I would agree. There's a lot of stuff that gets ingrained when you do it the hard way like that. But then at other times you just want to learn a song, and this is the way I used to just learn a song. As you guys probably well know, there are quite a few websites that have guitar, I'm going to call them tabs, and these are just transcribed by guys like you and me, and they post them up and people rate them. This particular one I think was given 5 stars up here. So this is for Little Wing, for Stevie Ray Vaughan. And what I do, and I'm sorry I don't have fancy screen capture software, guys, but what I do is I scroll around and get as many bars as I can on the screen, and then on our keyboard here, hang on our keyboard here, I've got a print screen button, so I'll hit that, and what that does is it copies what's here into the computer's memory. Then I can come down to Adobe Photoshop, and you can use a number of different programs. I think you can even do this in Microsoft Word if you want to. We're going to go over to File, New, and then we're just going to take the default. What that's going to do is it's going to size it for the screen that we just captured. Then we're going to hit the old Control V, which is paste, and voila, the image that we just had is now on the screen. And I'm going to zoom in, so give me just a sec here, guys. Just like that. And we can see the first bar here, so I've got my crop tool. So that's this one here, the crop tool. I've got my crop tool, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to crop that first frame, or first, sorry, not frame, first measure, and then hit enter. So all I've got is that first measure. And we're going to go File, Save As, and I've got a directory here for Little Wing tab, and I'm going to change this to, you can use a number of different formats. Right now I'm just going to use the GIF format because it's nice and simple. So this is the first measure, so I'm just going to call it number 1, and hit the old save button. And so it's going to ask me flatten layers. Yeah, it's all good. And okay. So there's our first measure. Now I'm going to hit the, you can just hit undo, but Control Alt Z actually brings you back where you want to be. You got to undo, I think, 2 times, but that one will do it. So then you come down to the next measure, grab it, hit enter, and file. Here we go. Okay, here I've got all the measures cropped and numbered, and I'm just doing a little preview. So I think there's 96 total measures in this song. So I did wind up saving these all in JPEG. Sorry, it was just the way I wanted to do it, but no big deal. So you just kind of go through screen after screen, cropping and saving, and it seems real tedious, but you know, it's quicker than picking this all out by ear. So and what you want to do is, as you go through these and listen, be critical and see, you know, some of these may not be right. So, you know, listen with your own ears, and if something doesn't sound right, then you need to go back and edit what these are. So now we'll take it into our video program. I'm using a trial version of Vegas Movie Studio, and this seems to work pretty well for doing this kind of thing. So here's my MP3 of Little Wing. I'm going to drop it down here on the music track, just like so, and then we're going to go to, there's our Little Wing tab and all of our JPEGs, so those are lined out there. Now you can go through and mark every measure if you want to, however you want to do it, but basically what we're going to do is we're going to grab those little files and we're going to put them down here one after another, and then we're going to go through and listen to the song and drag them to the appropriate length. And so that's where that one ends. So we're going to do that, and we're going to make that one match up, and then we're going to listen to all of these as we go through, and we're going to get this whole song lined up so that that's what we see as we're hearing the music. Here we go. I have all, I think there was 95 measures in this. I think I have one dupe in there somewhere that I screwed up. So anyway, yeah, let's take a preview. I cut these all so they were all on the beat, and hopefully you can see that and it's not too blown out, but here's kind of how it goes. Okay, you guys get the picture. I'll put this whole thing up on my channel, and hopefully YouTube won't gank me too hard because this is copyrighted material, but it is for learning purposes. So anyway, the other cool trick I'll show you here in just a second, you can actually turn this into the old make movie button here, and we can actually slow this down on the timeline once we do that to any speed that we want. So I'll show you how that's done. We'll come in here and hit the make movie button, and we'll save it to the old hard drive. We're going to use the Windows Media Video, the WMV, because I like that one, and we're going to call this Lil Wang. We're done with the rendering here, so we're going to hit the old close box. Then I'm going to do the old file save as, and we're going to save this project here. We're just going to select the whole timeline and delete it. There it is. There's our WMV file. We're going to drag it to the timeline right there. Now we should just be able to play this and see our notes here. Sorry, it's kind of blasting out there. Okay, now the beauty here, I'm going to stop this, is if you hold the control key down and drag, which I'm going to have to set the camera down for just a sec, I think. Hang on, unless I can do this with my elbow. Check it out, I can. I got my elbow on the control key here. When it gives you the little squiggly guy, that means you're stretching time. So we're going to stretch this out to like 9 minutes, which will make it at about 3/4 of full speed. So now I can go back to the beginning, and we can hit the play button again and listen. It'll be a lot slower. So when you do these, you can slow them down to whatever speed works for you, so that you can figure out all the little nuances, the accents, and all that kind of stuff as you're listening to, you know, Stevie Ray Vaughan was famous for his phrasing, his accents, his little pinches in there, his rakes and things like that. So they're actually very complicated. And when you listen real slow like that, you can hear exactly where all those happen, and you can actually pick out some of the notes where his hands are when he rakes and things like that. The last little trick I want to show everybody is we can hear the pitch. And then we listen to our strat over here. We're a half step off. So this is tuned in natural E. Little Wing is played in E flat, which is like most of Stevie Ray Vaughan songs. And in our little program here, we have a sweet little deal. We can add effects. So actually, I think I can just, yeah, right there, audio event effects. So this is the audio right here, and there's one down at the bottom, pitch shift. If you click on that and hit the OK button, it brings up this little guy here, and so we're off just a semitone or a half step, and so we'll bump this up 1, so we're +1, so now that should bring it from E flat to E. We'll hit the close button there, and we'll listen again and see if we have it in E. So we're listening for this tone. And let's listen. Yep. Same tone. So now I don't have to retune the guitar. We can just play right along with this in whatever time expansion or contraction that we want. So we can play it slow, keep it on the same pitch, and all that kind of fun stuff. So there we go. That is how I slow songs down to learn to pick them out note for note, because unfortunately I wasn't born with a magic set of golden ears, and you know, I struggle with guitar like a lot of people do. There are some people who just pick it up and it's theirs, and I'm not one of those people. So if you're like me, you can use this method to slow everything down and pick songs out that maybe you wouldn't normally be able to do. So that's all for today. Don't let your meatloaf.